Hey guys, welcome to week 8 for FCST 1010. This week will start on October 30th and will end on November 5th. Just as a note, October 30th is the last day to withdraw from this class. And we have 3 more weeks of class left. So let's jump into our content. This week we are going to be talking about note-taking, which I think you will find to be very helpful. So we're really going to be talking about listening and taking notes. So how to apply active listening skills in class and how to develop effective note-taking strategies. There's a lot of different ways to take notes, and we're going to kind of talk about a lot of them. But again, your deliverables this week are the same. Content quiz due by Wednesday. Again, print off the quiz and look through the content and answer the questions as you go. Journal entry 8 is due by Thursday, and then your replies to 3 classmates is due by Sunday at 11:59. Remember, your journal entry has to be 200 words in length, and your responses to 3 classmates need to each be 100 words in length. Your challenge 8 is due by Sunday at 11:59, and your going further is also due by Sunday at 11:59. This week's a little bit easier than week 7 was as far as the going further. Your journal entry, let's jump into content before we get to journal entry. So your content this week is really all about how to help you be an effective listener and a note taker. If you read this article, Effective Listening and Note Taking, this is a really great article, and it gives you 13 ways to be an effective listener in class, even when the content is not something that you're overly excited about. You all talked about reading large amounts of material and how it's hard for you, especially if it's not something you're interested in. I'm going to guess that listening to a lecture on something you're not interested in is about the same. So maintaining a written record, that's really important. Sit where you'll be seen. Sit in the front of the class, because it's true. It actually does make it better for you. Try to do advanced reading. If you read the content ahead of time, even if you don't necessarily understand it, you have the information in your brain, and when the teacher talks about it, you have something to relate it to. Take systematic notes. Make abbreviations. I have abbreviations. Use an outline for your notes. We're going to talk about a couple of these. Look for signals of importance. If the teacher says, this is important, you need to know this, or if it's anything your teacher has written down, you want to make sure that you write that down in your notes. Examples are super important. It helps connect the idea in your brain through more neurological networks. And so the examples are really important. Leave some blank space, so as you go back and read over your notes, or you have things you want to go and ask, leave those spaces blank so you can go back and fill them in. Ask questions. It is really easy to get involved in a class if you are asking questions. If you're just a passive listener, you're not going to retain as much. But if you are active in the discussion and asking questions, it's really going to help you better. Take notes right up to the end of the class. Take notes during discussions. When your teacher is replying to classmates, that's great information, and it shows, 1, you're paying attention and being an active listener, and 2, your teacher's probably going to say things that are really important that you need to know. And then review your notes soon. Go over your notes right after class. You know, if you spent 10 or 15 minutes each evening reviewing your notes from the class and highlighting and really interacting with your notes, I think you would see that your grades would really change a lot. So here's a little cheat sheet for what that article says. Date your papers. That's really important. And then we have this article, which is 5 effective notes of note-taking. Y'all are going to have to let me know if this doesn't work for you. I think I'm going to have to find the link for this. But this talks about all the different ways that you can take notes. It talks about mind mapping, the Cornell method, the outlining method. I will find that and link that in. A lot of people really like the Cornell method. A lot of people use the outlining method. You're going to have to come back to this article for your challenge this week. So I will make sure that this link works. But it's 5 different ways to take notes, and then it shows you examples of each one. And so it allows you to figure out which one works best for you. And then we have Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a little video, a perfect example of how not to listen to a teacher. And we're all going to have teachers that are extremely boring, just like this one. And then now we're going to talk about listening skills. And you will need this information for Journal Entry 8. So there's an article here on listening skills, which is a really great, take this inventory and go and be honest, because, you know, there's really no reason not to be honest. And then watch this video on how to take great notes. You know, really one of my favorite ways to take notes is through sketch notes or mind mapping, but a lot of people don't want to have to think about their paper that way, and so they would prefer outlining or the Cornell method. Either one is fine. You might want to look for very creative people, the sketch notes way to take notes or the mind mapping, because everything's in a different color and it shows the ways things link in your brain together. It's a really effective way to take notes. I would probably stick with the outline method just because I would be worried about filling in all the room on the mapping method. So then we come to what is due this week. You have your journal entry, which is about listening and note-taking. You have how can you optimize your note-taking skills. So for this one, you're going to have to watch this video. You're going to have to choose 2 methods. So after examining the 5 note-taking methods, which was in that article that the link didn't work, but I will make it work before this week starts, you have to choose 2 methods. You're going to watch the first 3 minutes of this video, the Delta in-flight safety video, and you're going to take notes in the first method you chose. So if you chose outlining, you're going to take notes outlining. And then after 3 minutes, you're going to switch to the second way. Did you choose a web, the Cornell method? What did you choose? Take notes the second way. And then you're going to answer these questions. You're going to, which note-taking system did you choose? After taking notes, which one did you prefer? And how could you successfully use this system in class? So you're going to need to answer all those questions and upload by Sunday at midnight. And then for your going further, this is kind of a fun little activity. It's really talking about going further with your brain, how to exercise your brain, how to get your brain working. And so you're going to go to this highlights puzzle site. I already did it, so hopefully it doesn't. And then you have to look closely to find the 24 things that don't work. And I actually had a pretty hard time when I got down to where I had 22 out of 24. But for example, obviously this lollipop. So you just click on it. You're going to have to take a screenshot of it when you finished. You're going to have to upload it. And then you're going to have to tell me, was any object tougher to find than another, and what was easy about it? So the whole point of this is to talk about being an active listener, being active in a activity, and working hard and not giving up. So your answer should be a minimum of 150 words, but no more than 300. And so here's an example of what you need to upload. This is just a picture of the final page. So your final page won't look exactly like this, but it'll be close enough. So that is everything for this week. If you have any questions, let me know. Just remember that the last day to withdraw is Monday, the 30th. I will put a note in the classroom as well. I hope you guys have a great week.